Good evening, everybody. You're very welcome along to the second round of the Digital-Motorsports TCR Cup. We are live from Brands Hatch tonight after an action-packed round last week. It has been a bit of a wait, of course, just a week, not like the 2-week wait we were used to before in the F3 Championships. We're straight back into the action here at Brands Hatch with Keith Dempsey, your championship leader at the moment, just ahead of Jason Cooper, just by 4 points as we head into this one. So myself, Jack Annan, with you today, Adam Bath in the box with me, Samuel Akuma working hard on cameras. So Adam, we had such an amazing round last time out at Donington. I can't imagine what we're in for this week.
It was a brilliant race meeting at Donington, wasn't it? The racetrack there really lended itself well to these TCR cars, and I think we're going to see more of the same at Brands Hatch today. They don't make circuits like this anymore, do they? With the undulation of Paddock Hill bends, Druids, and the blast down Pilgrims drop to Hawthorne bends. So yeah, plenty of stuff to watch out for in the two races, plus a reverse grid as well to keep us on our toes. So I think we're in for another class race meeting.
So the drivers are just currently about halfway through qualifying. We ride on board with Shane Burke. Experienced Carter was a champion back in the day with Motorsport Ireland. He comes across the line and he's going to pop into 13th place on the grid. So it's a 2-lap long qualify as per usual. So it's currently Jason Cooper on pole position at the moment ahead of Niall Quinn and Keith Dempsey, the championship leader. As we said, Peter Dempsey behind him, Adrian Camfield, with Damien Harris, and of course Craig Breen back with us once again as he heads towards the last corner right here. Just it goes upwards and back down again. You see the car just stepping out a little bit. He'll be well used to that driving around in the WRC car. It's just a bit wide on the exit there as he heads down towards Paddock Hill Bend to finish his lap. Let's see where he's going to go. He's 30th on the grid at the moment. Where is he going to pop into this time? If he improves at all. I don't think he's improved at all, or he's had an off track. So Craig Breen further down the order. But Craig enjoying his time out in Digital Motorsports Championship with his brand new simulator and didn't do too bad last week, Adam.
No, he had a great start in race 1, finished in the top 10 if I remember correctly, but then things turned a little bit for the worse in race 2, went off at the old hairpin, but a solid start for him, and a 31st place on the grid for him at the moment isn't the end of the world, of course, because if he does get inside the top 20, then he is in with a decent shout of a good result in race 2. As we look at Serge Graven, in 20th place, he is currently the first driver to benefit, and just having said that, he is knocked out of the top 20 by a late lap. But yeah, that reverse grid is something to watch out for. We'll be hoping to keep an eye on that throughout the rest of the race, the first race anyway. But of course, there is plenty of action set to go on throughout the whole field, and at a track like Brands, I think you're going to see quite a lot of line of stern racing because it's pretty tight around here.
Is very tight indeed, especially with these wide TCR cars. On board with Olivier Van Herk, VRA veteran, Digital Motorsports veteran, coming up through Dingledale. This will be interesting. One of the most interesting named corners. It drops down here, up here before we head into Surtees at the top of the hill. You can't even see the apex. You can see how much the track drops away from you as you come through this last section right here. Off camber, right onto the inside there, then down towards the last corner. It drops away again before coming up again and dropping down on the straight. So there's a lot of elevation changes in this circuit, which makes it extremely tricky, especially in a front-wheel drive touring car that is very loose at the rear, and especially Paddock Hill Bend, because that is really a massive drop away. If you've ever walked down it, it's incredible. So Jason Cooper on pole position for the second time in the Digital Motorsports TCR Cup. He managed to take the heat race win last week, of course. Didn't quite go to plan last time, but here is your grid lineup for round number 2. It is Jason Cooper on pole position, Niall Quinn in second place, Keith Dempsey third, with his brother Peter alongside him in fourth, Adrian Camfield having a good run out in fifth, Damien Harris sixth, Wayne Douglas in seventh, Jordan Kelly inside the top 10 in eighth, Brian McManus ninth, and James Holman in a good run in 10th, Brian Egan just outside the top 10 there in 11th, Peter McCann, not a bad effort from him, in 12th place. Then Cian Carey, F3 racer right there at 13th. Shane Burke 14th. Then Dan Harper, of course, got the podium in the feature race last time at BMW Junior driver, 15th place on the grid. Fraser Smith in 16th. Evan Walsh 17th. Dermot Toomey in 18th. And Ronan Haderman and Shane Rabbit round out your top 20. Outside your top 20 is Sergio Graven, then Robert Moore, Barry Rabbit in 23rd. Olivier Van Herk is 24th on today's grid. Then Colin Bays in 25th, RUC Mantis next to him, Rod McGovern, then Nathan Healy, Niall Murray, experienced Formula Ford racer, went around here, Brandon Ians 30th on the grid, Keith Rabbit 31st, Craig Breen all the way down in 32nd place, Pat Masterson, then Tony Stack, then Connor Murphy and Robert Barble in 36th place on today's grid. Again, is a massive grid with us today. I don't think it's quite the same size as last week, but we're heading with 45 cars. Max Turley, Alex Denning, Damien McMullen, Adam Dowling, Chris Bays, Rob O'Neill, Jack Byrne, Owen Murray and Dave Collier right down the back in 45th place on the grid. And away we go immediately for the start of race number 1. It is Jason Cooper with a decent start as they head towards turn 1, and Niall Quinn on the outside line. Keith Dempsey already up the inside of Niall Quinn. Classic battle between those guys. And also Peter Dempsey looking up the inside of Niall Quinn through Paddock Hill Bend as they run down for the first time. It's Jason goes side by side with Niall Quinn. They make contact. Peter Dempsey is around. He's trying to keep it out of the wall. It's Niall Quinn and Peter Dempsey into the wall on lap number 1. It's absolute disaster for Niall Quinn. He starts saying even more carnage, more cars piled in towards Pilgrims. It is just awful, and again, it's happened again in TCR racing. This is what we see.
Yeah, car parked in the middle of the circuit, plus 40 or so cars surrounding you. It doesn't usually end well. Did see a few wheels flying about, at least on my screen, and what a shame for those guys as well. They were starting right at the front of the field, and now they're going to have to be pinning their hopes on either getting in the top 20 or hoping for a decent result in race 2. But that's really shuffled the pack up a lot. At least at my time, there's been a lot of positions gained by drivers in the midfield. And look at these two. This is Fraser Smith and Shane Burke going at it into Hawthorne. It looks like it's Smith ahead of Harper, as they go through the quick right-hander. So that's Smith into the top 10, and that's Harper pushed down to 11th place.
There's stuff from Fraser Smith going around the outside of Dan Harper. Pretty good stuff right there from him. So Dan Harper shuffled down to 11th place. And Adrian Camfield, good start from him. Jordan Kelly, again, fast starter, 6th place. So there is Adrian Camfield. He's got Jordan Kelly latched onto his bumper right there as they run up towards the last corner once again. So Keith Dempsey just behind Jason Cooper, who is in the lead with Adrian Camfield behind him, Jordan Kelly following him, then Damien Harris just behind them, and that'll be Wayne Douglas. Here comes Jordan Kelly. He's got a good exit as they head towards Terminal. It looks like he's already ahead and doesn't look like Adrian's going to fight that too much. They head towards Paddock Hill. Jordan Kelly into 3rd place immediately. Great start from him as they run through Paddock Hill Bend for the 2nd time. And then it's Damien Harris, Wayne Douglas, James Holman, Shane Burke with a good start. Fraser Smith is 9th and Dan Harper is 10th.
Yeah, great exit through clearways there from Jordan Kelly. He's had a very good opening lap, 5 places gained. Here's an interesting scrap. It's Fraser Smith. He's already ruffling feathers with somebody else. That was Shane Burke that was trying to go around the outside of Druids, and he just gets a face full of no and forced out wide, almost onto the grass into Graham Hill Bend there. And now he's got Kerry, Walsh, Rabbit all at his heels, chomping at the bit here, going into Surtees and now up the hill. Very difficult to get the power down in these front-wheel drive cars. It just wants to understeer away from you. And here we are looking from the rear, the Syntec racing car. We've got a face full of Audis we plunged down the hill.
And Carey looking for a way past here as they run down the hill. You can just see a glimpse of Evan Walsh just behind as well. Great camera shots here as Keane has another little look up the inside there. Not quite going to follow through right there. Evan Walsh just missed out on a podium last week. Just again by less than a tenth of a second to Dan Harper as they came across the line. Here is Evan Walsh chasing after Cian Carey and Shane Burke. And just behind them is Peter McCann. He hasn't had the best of getaways, but he's stuck in the back of that train right there. So that's where he wants to be, just lashed onto the back of these guys, following their lines. And after lap 1, it's still Jason Cooper secure out front of that with Shane Rabbit having a little think about going up the inside of Evan Walsh there in that orange car on board with Shane Rabbit as they run up towards Paddock Hill Bend. He's having to think about looking on the outside line in the slipstream. He's going to have a go at Evan Walsh right on the outside of Paddock Hill Bend. He's looking for that inside line. He has to go left, right, then back to the left again. Evan Walsh defends the inside line. Then Shane might get the cutback as they run down Paddock Hill, but Evan with a good exit down there as they run up towards Druids. Is he going to have a think about going up the inside here? He has to think about it. Not quite going to be able to do it. But a good defensive driving from Evan Walsh right there.
You'd think these cars would be pretty stable with them being front-wheel drive, but on this onboard shot of Shane Rabbit, the car's sliding about all over the place when he gets on the brakes into Druids, and I think that must have been an assault on the senses for Evan Walsh. Rabbit was going left, right down the front straight, and you wouldn't have known what mirror to look in at all as they turn into Surtees again, and he's got a very decent exit here as the number 35 car that we're on boards with. He's gained 7 spots, and he's hoping to gain another at the expense of Walsh, and he's got a fantastic run, as I've just said, and he might be able to get the position around the outside into Hawthorne. That'd be a brave move if he can get it done.
Well, he has to think about Evans later on the brakes, though, as they run through Hawthorne, but he's got the cutback line underneath him as they run to the next part of it. Up the inside, Shane Rabbit and Evan Walsh. Can Evan hang it around the outside as they run towards Dingledale? Shane gets it up the inside. Now Evan gets the cutback as they run up towards Surtees this time. He's not quite going to have that. Peter McCann having to think about it up there. But good move from Shane Rabbit. Just a little cutback on the exit of Hawthorne and gets it done.
Yeah, that started all the way back at Surtees. He got the run down there and then was able to get the cut back, as you said, and straight up the inside, and there's not really much you can do there. And that is Shane Rabbit now up into 13th place, 7 places gained. He's on a mighty good race so far. Order then is Cooper, Dempsey, who's up 1 place, and it's Kelly. And then look at this fight for the lead. Cooper, he had things his own way at Donington Park. He was able to win by quite a decent margin, but it doesn't look like he's going to have the same case here, because Dempsey is right on the back of his car and was quicker by quite a few tenths of a second on that last lap, around half a second or so.
Keith very used to this circuit. I saw a photo come up recently of him winning here in Formula Renault back in 2001, so he's very used to this circuit. He's won here before, so he's all over the back of Jason Cooper here as they run up towards Hawthorne Bend once again. He's trying to get the exit up the hill. It's so tricky to get the power down, as you mentioned earlier, in the front wheel drive cars up a hill, especially as they run down towards Hawthorne Bend. Is he going to have a think about going up the inside? He's very firmly in that city. He looks to the inside of Hawthorne Bend. He has a think about it on the inside, shows himself in the mirrors, and Jason goes a bit wide as they run up towards Westfield Bend. He's going to be able to get on the outside line this time. He thinks about it, but Jason holds the middle of the road and holds on for now, but Keith's all over the back of him as we run towards Sheen this time. He has a look on the inside of Sheen's a brave move. He thinks about it going, no, just backs out of it. Jason sideways up towards Sheen corner, then into Sterling's this time. Keith's going to have to hold on for now. You can just see how much is twitching the wheel as they run through Sheen. They're so hard to hold on to, these TCR cars.
Well, if anybody knows this circuit, it's Keith, as you said. Race fixer here in real life, and he very nearly had one of the moves of the race, beating up the inside into Sheen curve, but once Jason Cooper was able to close the door and stop him from getting up the inside, and over line we go. What was one thing about this race format is that you're not going to be able to sit back and bide your time and try and get a move done. As you can see from the top left of your screen, it's a 15-lap race or 20 minutes, whatever happens first, and these drivers can't afford to sit by and wait for an opportunity to arise. They've really got to have at it in the early going here, and that's what Keith Dempsey's trying to do to get by Cooper.
Others battling though. Look at who's closing up with them. Jordan Kelly in the background, look, going very, very well in the VR racing car. He's catching up to these guys as they continue to battle. Adrian Campfield still sitting well in fourth, and that's a good exit from Dempsey this time as they run down towards Hawthorne Bend. Again, he's firmly in the slipstream, but can he get the power down as they run towards Hawthorne Bend? Jason should not give him the inside line. He's going to have a think about the outside, but just can't quite get up. He thinks about up the inside of Hawthorne Bend. He has a little look. That was bravery. Doesn't quite pay off there, but it almost gave us a heart attack.
Yeah, I was holding my breath there as he looked at the inside. It's one of the quickest parts of the circuit. Now through Westfield Bend, they're plunging down the hill again. Is Dempsey going to be able to get by into Sheen curve? He had a go this time a lap ago. Not close enough this time to get it done, and look how wide they go through Sheen curve there. Flirting with disaster with the grass on the outside, and now into Sterling's. Hopefully we've got the rest of this battle for the rest of the race as Cooper runs a bit wide, flips the exit curve through Sterling's. That might cost him a couple of attempts or so going into clearways.
In through Clark then, so he's got a little bit of a gap this time, but I think Jason might be counting his lucky stars that he also doesn't have Peter Dempsey and Niall Quinn glued to his bumper as well, because of course those two came together, running up towards Druids this time. So through Paddock Hill Bend they come once again. Keith not quite having the gap this time, a little touch of the gravel from Jason Cooper there, in through Druids once again for the 6th time running about, coming up towards halfway through this race. Down the hill they come once again. It's that exit from Surtees that he needs. Adrian Campbell under pressure from Damien Harris here for that top 5. Behind them, Wayne Douglas, then Dan Harper under pressure from Fraser Smith, and James Holman latched onto the back of those. Then it's Shane Burke and Keane Carey. Evan Walsh still embroiled in their own battle right there. So there is Dan Harper with the BMW livery on the Audi, ahead of Fraser Smith, and then James Holman in 9th place with Shane Burke just behind him. Now here comes Keith Dempsey again down towards Hawthorne Bend. Is he going to have a think about a move this time? He looks on the outside line, but Jason has to hold it again. Again, it's allowing Jordan Kelly to just close in even more, but he's looking for a way past. He just can't find that way past how wide this TCR car is.
I was just having a look at the lap times. These two were doing 32s last time around. Everybody else behind them were in the 1 minute 31. So you are right, they are going to catch them sooner or later. There is a bit of love for Jordan Kelly on the YouTube chat as well. Thanks everybody for joining us for this one, and we're getting treated to quite a spectacle here as we approach half race distance, 10 minutes into this 20-minute race, or 15 laps, whatever comes sooner. And these two are showing no signs of abating in this fight for the lead. Kelly is now less than a second away as we come onto the front straight.
Keith Dempsey towards Paddock Hill Bend, firmly in that slipstream. The top 5, you can almost put a blanket over them. They're that close through Paddock Bend. They come for the 7th time of asking. Can Keith make it work at all? Down the hill into Druids this time around for the 7th time of asking. Can he make a move through Druids corner? He has to think about it, but again, Jason just firmly late on the brakes. He's firmly shutting that door in Keith Dempsey's face. And again, Jordan Kelly just holding on right there in the background. But it's this exit from Surtees that he just can't quite seem to get, where he gets all the time. But Jason Cooper is just holding on. Now we're right on board with Jason Cooper with that very ominous look of Keith Dempsey right behind. Look how close he gets on the exit of Surtees up towards Hawthorne Bend. Can he get it done this time? He's tried 3 times already to get past, firmly in the slipstream. Jason holds the middle of the road. Where is Keith going to go this time? Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? He looks to the outside line of Hawthorne's. He has to think about going around the outside, but Jason holds the inside line well. Down now with the cutback up towards Westfield. Can he get it up the inside? No, not quite again. Keith must be frustrated at this point.
We saw Fraser Smith manage to pull off that move with the cutback through Hawthorne into Westfield, and it was able to work there, and I think that was almost a dress rehearsal for what we saw between Cooper and Dempsey there, but I wonder if it's just a matter of time before Dempsey can get it done. He was so good through Surtees Bend on this lap. He's got that corner nailed down to a T, and Kelly is now just 7/10 of a second away, and Campfield was the quickest driver out of anybody on that last lap, a 1:31.7. He's got, there he is in the bright pink car. Damien Harris isn't too far away either, so don't count these guys out of a late race charge as we come over the line again. Let's see what kind of times they're doing. Cooper does a 32 dead, that is a new personal best for him. Dempsey 32.09 as well, fastest lap of the race by Douglas in 6th. So all the drivers from 3rd on back are continuing to set personal bests and close in on these 2 even more.
Yeah, but it's just making up for some great action that could be coming with the top 5 fighting for this, and Wayne Douglas could latch himself onto the back of this fight. But Keith, is he biding his time? Is he saving his tyres? We'll have to wait and see. But Wayne Douglas, with the fastest lap of the race currently to his name, lashing onto the back of this top 5, and in the back you just see Dan Harper ahead of Fraser Smith and ahead of James Holman and Shane Burke, Keane Carey. But Jason Cooper still just ahead, but again Keith, he's on the grass looking up the inside of Hawthorne. He's so frustrated behind Jason Cooper there. He's really trying to get past here now with the cutback through Westfield again. Jason Cooper opens the door. Can he get it up the inside this time? Keith Dempsey through Westfield Bend. Jason Cooper around the outside, dropping down Dingledale up towards Sheen Kerr, but Jason Cooper holds on. How has he held on to that?
I've no idea. I thought it was a done deal then for Keith Dempsey, but Cooper showing great commitment on the outside of Westfield, using all of the tarmac and the curbs, and was able to hold on to the race lead. But look at what has happened now. Jordan Kelly within 4/10 of a second. It's going to quickly become a 3-car scrap for the lead. The bad thing is if you run side by side, you are going to lose a lot of time. And now all of a sudden these guys are starting to grow ever more ominous in the rear view mirror as we come over the line. Look how slow these laps will be this time. Cooper, he does a 32.2, a couple of 10-second loss. He's up the inside. He's up the inside of Keith Dempsey. Oh, they make contact.
And they slide simultaneously through Paddock Bend up towards Druids. Jason Cooper still just about ahead. Keith Dempsey up the inside this time through Druids' hair. But here comes Jordan Kelly with the cutback through Druids. Can he get around the outside of Jason Cooper as they run down the hill? Gets right on his bumper, but Keith Dempsey takes over the lead for now.
Oh, well, Paddock Bend we see in the British touring cars is always an opportunistic place to get an overtake done, and I don't think Cooper was expecting it. Dempsey straight up the inside, and he's able to get the lead. This is where he's so good, but it was at the first corner where he was able to get up the inside. Cooper tried everything. He tried everything that he could to keep Dempsey at bay, but he wasn't able to. And now, as you say, Jordan Kelly right on the back of these 2 as well. So what a fantastic race this is turning into.
Only the first heat race, don't forget, it's not even the feature race. We have the reverse grid to come as well. But Jason Cooper, he's still got the pace. He's not going to let go of the back of Keith Dempsey at this one. Jordan Kelly now lashed onto the back for the fight for the win. Hasn't had a win in a long time as Jordan Kelly. It'd be great to get one in the heat race. Adrian Campfield just in 4th place, lurking behind. Still got Damien Harris latched to his bumper as we're about to go on to lap 10 of 15, or as we get towards the 20-minute mark, whatever comes first. But in the background, Evan Walsh and Shane Rabbit are still fighting as they come up the hill. Evan Walsh up the inside, Shane Rabbit round the outside of Sheen Curve. That was bravery, brilliant stuff from Shane Rabbit.
Brilliant commitment there. If you go onto the grass on the exit of Sheen, then you're not really going to be able to recover. And as he weaves about and put into clearways, that was a brilliant piece of bravery, and is able to hold on to the place. And now he's got Shane Rabbit just in front of him. These guys have gained quite a few places as the race has gone on. 4 places gained for Walsh, 8 for Rabbit, and it's just a change of places here as Ronan Hederman and Peter McCann are very close going into the first corner.
comes running ahead of him on the inside of his team with 3 VR racing cars running very close together. That's a bit of a defensive line for Peter McCallum running ahead of him, and he's not going to want to let him through, with Chris Bays just behind them and Rod McGovern just behind this train as well. But the VR racing cars, they may be teammates, but here comes Chris Bays, a little look up the Colin Bays is going to be up the inside of running ahead. I'm not quite able to get it right there, but Evan Walsh, he's not letting go of the back of Shane Rabbit anytime soon.
This is what we love about this. We've got fights area where you want in the field, and these could be for important places when it comes to the reverse grid. And Rabbit's not having anything his own way either, because here comes Evan Walsh. He's got the run on the outside. Will he try and do that cutback that we saw Keith Dempsey very nearly pull off earlier? Round the outside of Hawthorne he's going to go. That might actually work, you know, he's carried enough speed.
That's a brilliant move from Evan Walsh. If he can make it stick as it comes through Westfield Bend this time, tries to cut off Shane Rabbit. There is contact. He manages to hold on and puts his foot to the floor, still side by side, running up through Sheen Curve. Here comes Peter McCann on the back of him as they run up towards Sheen Curve. He's going to do what Shane did to him a lap earlier. There's still contact again, but he's made the move stick. Brilliant stuff from Evan Walsh and Peter McCann up the inside of Shane Rabbit this time. This is brilliant racing, proper touring car racing right there. Brilliant move, Evan Walsh.
Oh, and Rabbit's gone up on the exit of Sterling's, and he's lost a whole lot of places as a result. But that's one of the many positives of front-wheel drive touring cars, is that if you do get sideways, you can plant your foot on the accelerator, and the car just brings itself back into a straight line again. So fortunately, none of those guys were out of the race, as here comes Damien Harris up the inside of Adrian Campfield, and he is now up into 4th place, but still 1.7 seconds away from 3rd place. That might be as good as it's going to get for him, unless any of these two start getting involved in some late race scraps.
Keith Dempsey has got just a small gap in Jordan Kelly right on the back of Jason Cooper as they run down towards Hawthorne for the 11th time of asking. You can just see him here. Hasn't quite got the fancy equipment that most have, just simple G29 impels, but he's making sure that he's making his presence known in the top 3 right here, just behind Jason Cooper and Keith Dempsey out in front. Keith Dempsey, your championship leader, of course, over Jason Cooper. So the 2 championship leaders are fighting with each other for this 1st and 2nd place. And it's all important, with only a 5-round championship, every point counts, especially in the heat races and in the feature race, which is to come. But of course, the win will put you on 20th on the grid for the feature race, and currently in reverse grid pole should be either Conor Murphy or Niall Murray. We'll find out in due course, but Jason Cooper on board with, as he's still lashed onto the back of Keith Dempsey right here towards Paddock Hill Bend. He's got a good exit this time. Is he going to have a thing about going past Keith Dempsey around the outside of Paddock Hill, because Keith has shut the door on the inside line? He gives him a push towards Paddock Hill Bend. He's going to have a thing about going around the outside. Keith very late on the brakes, trying to go get the cut back now as they run down towards Druids for the 12th time of asking. Lashed onto the back, Jason Cooper has a thing about the inside. Keith defends it with all his might. Here comes Jason Cooper around the outside of Druids. Hairpin, can he make a signal? He can't, but you can almost put a blanket over those 3 cars. They are so close together.
Well, Keith Dempsey didn't have the best run through Paddock Hill Bend, but Cooper didn't have a good run either, so he wasn't able to get up the inside into Druids. So that was a half missed opportunity really for Cooper, but he was quick at Donington, and he's got the good pace here again. So there's no way that he's not going to have another chance to get past Keith Dempsey before this race is out. But as you can see from the clock, we are starting to run out of time. It is a 90-second lap or so we should still have around 2 laps to go. Oh, as he literally tries to sell him a dummy going into Hawthorne.
And very intense now for this win. They know they're fighting each other for the championship, and Jordan Kelly could put a spanner in the works for both of these two. He's just lurking, waiting, hoping that they take each other out. They run towards Sheen Curve once again. Up the hill they come. Jason Cooper not quite with a run this time. He's so close, running up towards Sterling again and towards Clark Curve. Has a think about it there, not quite going to have it. He might have a think about doing into Paddock Hill Bend as he did a lap earlier, because Keith seems to be struggling with the exit out of Clark Curve. Here we go again, not long left in this race, onto lap 13 of 15. Jason Cooper trying to get his 2nd heat race win, and he's got a good exit again out of Clark Curve towards Paddock Hill Bend. Once again, Jordan Kelly lurking in the background. Jason Cooper to the outside line of Paddock Hill Bend. He's going to have to try and think about sweeping around the outside. Keith is late on the brakes again. Now he's going to try the switch back that he tried earlier. He's got a good exit this time. He's so close to the back of Keith as they run towards Druids Hairpin again, but Keith holds the middle of the road. Jason Cooper trying everything to try and get past, but Keith is just slamming the door in his face.
Yeah. Karting line covering the inside every opportunity. He's going to have to get past the hard way if you do that, and that's what Keith's doing. He's won at this circuit before in real life, and he's hoping to etch his name into the winner's book here at Brands Hatch in the first race of the day. And by my reckoning, this might just be the final lap of the race, but we'll have to wait and see as the cars plunge down the hill again, and the gap is just less than 0.2 of a second between these two. I think Cooper's going to have to start getting a bit creative if he's going to get by Dempsey in the final few corners.
Indeed, it's going to be quite close to come across the line here. Look how close he is. Jason Cooper's touching the back of Keith Dempsey as they run towards Westfield Bend. He has to think about going around the outside. Jordan Kelly, they're pretty much touching as they come through Westfield Bend. Then up towards Sheen Curve again. Jason Cooper is running out of time. This could be the last lap as they come across the line next time. But here they go towards Sterling. Once again, Jason Cooper still latched onto the back of them as they run towards. He's got a bad exit from Sterling this time though. Here comes Jordan Kelly. Keep the fence the inside. This is going to be so close. They run towards the line. Jason Cooper trying to fend off Jordan Kelly at the same time as they run through Clark Curve again. This could be the last lap as they come across the line. The checkered flag is going to wave and Keith Dempsey is just about going to hold on for this one. Jordan Kelly trying to get second place, but Keith Dempsey wins the heat race. Jason Cooper in second and Jordan Kelly finishes in third place. What a race.
Oh, catch your breath, Jack. I think over the line it's a photo finish between Dan Harper in 7th and Fraser Smith in 8th. Here come the VRA guys. They're coming across the line. It's going to be Evan Walsh, Peter McCann, Vernon Hederman in 14th place. Everybody's so close in this field. And the top 20 rounded out by, it looks like it's going to be Colin Murphy that's going to be starting on pole position for race 2. But what a drive that was by Dempsey. He got up the inside, he had a small window of an opportunity, he prized it open, and after that, it was all about keeping Jason Cooper at bay. He was probably driving in the mirrors for the final 4 laps or so, but he's going to be absolutely delighted with that, and it gives him the upper hand over Jason Cooper, but now he's going to be right in the midfield for the second race, the feature race coming up.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how Jason and Keith find their way through the field. Of course, Niall Quinn and Peter Dempsey weren't involved in that fight. Imagine if those guys were involved too in that fight. It could have been really intense with the two of them coming together out of the exit at Paddock Hill Bend on lap 1. Unfortunate for them, but Keith Dempsey on winning ways once again. Second place last week, so it's actually his first win in the championship. So well done to Keith. And Jason Cooper a second place for him. And Jordan Kelly, a great result for a third place as well. He's going to be very happy with that. But again, he's going to be right down the grid in the feature race. And it is going to be Conor Murphy on pole position for that one. And next to him will be Niall Murray. Here's your confirmation results. Look how close the top 3 are. 0.2 of a second separating the top 3. Keith Dempsey in the lead. Jason Cooper second. Jordan Kelly in third place. Damian Harris with a good result in 4th. He manages to pivot Adrian Campfield. Wayne Douglas in 6th. And Dan Harper in 7th. 600ths of a second between himself and Fraser Smith. James Holman in 9th. And Shane Burke in 10th. King Carey in 11th. Evan Walsh holds on for 12th ahead of Peter McCann and Ronan Haydeman, then Colin Bays, Shane Rabbit all the way down in 16th place, Rod McGovern in 17th, and Alex Denning in 18th place, which is 3rd place on the reverse grid. And then Niall Murray will start on 2nd place for the reverse grid, and Conor Murphy will have pole position for the reverse grid. Brian McManus all the way down in 21st place on the grid, Arias Imantas 22nd, Diarmuid Toomey, Brad O'Neans, Rob Barrable, Tony Stack, Adam Dowling, then Robert Moore in 28th position. And then we have Dave Collier, Olivia Van Herk. Peter Dempsey is classified, but he came across the line in 31st place. Sergio Grab in 32nd and Craig Breen in 33rd. Haven't seen much of him at all in that race. Jack Byrne in 34th. And Rob O'Neill, Damien McMullen, Brian Egan, Pat Masterson. And then Keith Rabbit, Owen Murray, Max Turley, Nathan Healy, Barry Rabbit. And then your non-finishers, Niall Quinn and Chris Bays. Really unfortunate for Niall Quinn, qualified second. Imagine if we had Peter Dempsey and Niall Quinn involved in that fight as well.
Oh, it would have been an epic scrap, wouldn't it? Jordan Kelly, I think, was in the interview room, but because there's just such a quick turnaround between race 1 and race 2, we wouldn't have been able to have got him in. Hopefully, he's back for the end of race 2, where we can try and dissect what we saw in that first race. We now have a 3-minute warm-up session, which we are just about 2 minutes into, and then we'll have to compose ourselves and get ready to do it all again. Another 15-lap or 20-minute race to come in the feature race here, as we look at Shane Rabbit, who was one of the drivers we were focusing on for quite a bit of race 1. He was fighting for the places at the back end of the top 10 or so, and he was involved in quite a few decent scraps with the likes of Peter McCann and everybody else as he comes down the hill on his warm-up session.
Shane Rabbit and Bowen, a very, very great fight between himself and Evan Walsh. Around the outside of Sheen Curve. Shane Rabbit did, and then the following lap, Evan did the exact same thing to him. So it was great stuff between the two of them. And even though there was contact, it didn't end any of their races, which is what we always want to see. And again, the front-wheel drive car has just proven their worth. If you do get sideways, you can save it by just planting your foot, pointing where you want to go and getting it back. And there is James Holman, had a good run out last time out. Top 10 finish for him. And now he'll be further down the grid, as he was just on board with them as they run up through Surtees, up the hill and back down again. We're really seeing how the touring cars move about with all these elevation changes, especially through Paddock Hill.
And looks like that's the end of the warm-up session, I think. Jack, as we now get down to the grid, I think you've already ran through most of it. I'll save your voice with Conor Murphy on the pole. And then Noel Murray in second. Alex Denning, Rod McGovern, Shane Rabbit, Colin Bays, Ronan Hederman, Peter McCann, Evan Walsh and Keane Carey rounding out the top 10. And then everybody else down to 20th is in reverse from where they finished, and then everybody on from 20th is where they finished. So Keith Dempsey, the race 1 winner, starting in 20th, and then 21st in race 1, therefore 21st in race 2 is going to be Brian McManus, and then everybody else in the positions that they finished.
So obviously the guys we want to keep our eye on are Keith Dempsey and Jason Cooper, starting in 19th and 20th. And Niall Murray, one to watch in this one as the 5 red lights come on for the second feature race in the Digital-Motorsports TCR Cup, and we are away. A good start, Conor Murphy. Good start from Alex Denning from the second row. Goes straight through, shuts the door on Niall Murray. They run through Paddock Hill Bend. Is Alex Denning going to take the leader on the outside of Conor Murphy there? Alex Denning takes the lead in spectacular fashion right there. It's Alex Denning from Conor Murphy and Colin Bays, and just behind them is Niall Murray, Shane Rabbit looking up the inside of Rod McGovern there as they run through Paddock Druids for the first time, So a great start from Alex Denning from the second row of the grid, surges through and takes the lead.
These cars are so difficult to get away from the line because your traction gets worse with it being front-wheel drive, and there's a few cars off in the background. But Alex Denning nailed that start brilliantly. There was another car from the wall on the exit of Graham Hill Bend, a lot of cars dropping down the order. There was a jump start too. I think it might have been one of the VRA racing cars. They'll be coming in for a drive-through at the end of the lap, but everybody trying to get on an even footing here in the early stages. And what a start from Alex Denning as we look at this fight for the lead. It's Denning versus Murphy through Hawthorne.
Murphy trying to get past Alex Denning at a stormer of a start. Niall Murray up the inside, trying a little look up the inside because Conor Murphy left the door open as they run through down the hill they come, and Niall Murray has got that done, but he's got Colin Bays up his inside as well. As they run through here, it's getting a little bit messy as Conor Murphy looks back up the inside again. They managed to sort that out. Niall Murray is ahead, but I'm not quite sure what happened to Keith Dempsey. He's still down in 17th, but Jason Cooper surges through to 12th place.
Yeah, he's had a good start as Cooper. Did see him go off in the background of the shot there through Sheen Curve. Looks like also that, who was off at Westfield Bend? Somebody was off. I saw them fly off here. And there you go, it was Ronan Hederman that got the jump start. He's coming into the pits to serve a stop-and-go penalty as they stream over the line to get the first lap in the books.
Shane Rabbit trying for a double move right there up the inside of Paddock Hill Bend, gets past Rod McGovern. Now look up the inside of Colin Bays. This is a fabulous drive from Shane Rabbit through to 4th place, trying up the inside of Colin Bays here. Can he get it done? A little bit of door banging. He gets through. Shane Rabbit is having a stormer of a drive right here.
Well, what an opening lap it is from him. Now look at this. He's leaving everybody else to fight over the scraps as Rod McGovern, who's lost 4 places in the opening lap, has got Shane Burke up the inside. Is he? Oh no, it's Rob McGovern in the green car, I should say, that's lost 4 places. He's now trying to get by Evan Walsh and Colin Bays. Those two are almost blocking the entire road as they come down the hill. And who's going to come out on top here? He's almost getting bump drafted down the straight as Colin Bays.
And he's got Evan Walsh on his outside as well as Colin Bays, and Rob McGovern's up Evan Walsh's inside right there. Now he's going to get the door shut and he gets sideways on the exit. And who is that off in the background? It's Rob McGovern is off the road, Evan Walsh is off the road. There's multiple cars involved in that one, and he's getting T-boned right there. Evan Walsh and Rob McGovern come to blows, unfortunately, but they're having such a great race. Bit unfortunate there.
Yeah, and a few wheels at least on my screen. Fraser Smith here, he is in 9th place. Oh, sorry, I should say in 8th. He's getting 4 places. That's Cooper up the inside. We saw how careful. Oh dear, that's 2 involved, 3, and it carries on.
That was unfortunate for him right there. Keith just about managed to avoid that wreck right there as he's trying to chase down Jason Cooper. Jason Cooper, a robust move, I would say, from him, but He gets the move done nonetheless, and Keith Dempsey goes through to 9th place, chasing after him. And then in the background, we have this, how Peter Dempsey is through to 11th place. Adam Dowling's through to 12th. These guys starting a lot. Peter Dempsey's up 20 places from where he started already. That's brilliant stuff from him. He gets a bump in the back from Adam Dowling. He gets turned at Druids, and through goes Arius Yamantas up the inside. Tony Stack trying to get through there as well. Craig Breen's in this one as well, right behind him. He gets a bit loose on the way through, and Peter Dempsey comes ahead. Adam Dowling got into the back of him. He manages to hold on to it. Tony Stack gets ahead of him, and Adam Dowling's now got Craig Breen for company.
Oh, what a race by Peter Dempsey. He's up the inside now of Tony Stack, and it looks like that he's got past it. So that is Dempsey up into P12 now. He's trying to get some of those positions back that he lost unduly down up at Druids, I should say. Now here's Adam Dowling then. He's got Craig Breen for company. Breen round the outside of Hawthorne. Oh! And he gets forced off, and he holds it.
WRC experience coming back to him. There's a little bit of door banging, plants his foot, keeps it going in the right direction. Good man, Craig. Tried it around the outside. Adam Dowling was not having any of that. So here we go. That's a car off. That's Alex Denning from the lead. Connor Murphy's back in the lead now. It's Shane Rabbit in 2nd place right here, and Shane Burke right behind him. This is totally mixed up the order for this one. Connor Murphy's in the lead. Can Shane Rabbit take the lead of the feature race up the inside of Clark Curve? He's taking the lead in the feature race as they come towards Panakill Bend. Shane Rabbit now leads a Digital Motorsports race. That is brilliant from Shane Burke, lining up the timing screens right there with the fast lap of the race. He's on his way to a podium position. Alex Denning, not quite sure what happened to him, but looks like he's had a problem with Shane Burke. Looking up the inside of Connor Murphy. Drew, is this contact made? He spins him around, and Shane Burke goes through to 2nd place. Alex Denning back to 3rd. Niall Murray to 4th, and Jason Cooper up to 5th place.
Well, oh, there's a car off heavily into the wall.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Oh no, that's Connor Murphy. It's all turned sour for him. Hopefully everybody avoids him. That's another place for Peter Dempsey as well. He's up into the top 10 now.
Dempsey trying to keep tabs on Jason Cooper, who's now in 5th place. Alex Denning trying to go around the outside of Shane Burke. There's going to be an interesting one for 3rd place. He's trying to recover lost ground that he made up earlier. Trying to go around the outside of Hawthorne Bend. Shane's going to say no to that one. Alex looking for the cutback here. He gets the cutback. It's a classic move right here. Shane gives him the squeeze to Westfield Bend, and he holds on for now. But Shane Rabbit is your new leader in the TCR Cup right here. But Jason Cooper is bearing down on this group.
Well, Cooper, fastest lap of the race last time around, 32.11. We did see him have an audacious move at this corner a couple of laps ago. I think it was just about on the good side. And look at this, trying to get past Niall Murray. There was no way through there. Is he going to try and carry the speed into clear ways? No, Murray makes sure that he can't get by on the outside. Look at the run he gets so through the final corner, almost pushing Niall Murray through as they come over the line.
It's going to be very hard to get past Niall Murray. Of course, he drives in the Formula 4 Festival right here, but Jason Cooper's going to try it around the outside of Panakill Bend. Niall Murray's going to go late on the brakes, but Jason going to look for that classic cutback line towards Druids. Coming up the hill they come for the next time. He's going to have a good run up the hill towards Druids. He's going to see him in his mirrors, but Niall defends that one robustly and then holds on to that inside line as they run down the hill for the next time of asking. But it's still Shane Rabbit from Shane Burke. Now he's going to look up the inside of the left-hander right here. There's going to be contact between the two of them. Niall holds the slide, but Jason Cooper comes through to 4th place. And now in the background you'll see Keith Dempsey following Fraser Smith in the background. And now here comes Fraser Smith, as we just mentioned him, up the inside of Niall Murray, and Keith's going to try and follow him through as well. So in the space of a couple of corners, it's all gone from bad to worse for Niall Murray right there. Unfortunately for him, he drops all the way back to 7th place, and Keith Dempsey trying to follow Fraser Smith through as he continues to chase Jason Cooper. He's looking up the inside of Hawthorne. He has to think about it, but not quite going to be able to do it there. So Jason Cooper is on his way, and Keith's trying to follow.
Well, we might try and get by Dempsey into Westfield, but thinks better of it. Yeah, Murray saw that Smith and Dempsey were on their way, and there was nothing he was going to be able to do. He was out of shape through Graham Hill Bend after the contact with Cooper, who's wasting no time in trying to get past Alex Denning here, and it looks like there's been a change for the lead. It's Rabbit.
Shane Rabbit. It's the same quarter that Alex Denning went off earlier, and it's now Shane Burke who leads this Digital Motorsports TCR Cup race, and Jason Cooper pushing Alex Denning through Clark Curve here as they run towards Panakill Bend onto lap 6 of 15. Shane Burke leads, Alex Denning 2nd, Jason Cooper 3rd, Shane Rabbit 4th. Here comes Jason Cooper trying to go late on the brakes around the outside. Alex Denning going to hold the inside line, but again the classic cutback line from Jason Cooper towards Druids. Alex holds the inside line as they run up the hill into Druids. Can Jason Cooper go around the outside? He's going to have a go around the outside. Not going to quite work from here. Comes Shane Rabbit with the cutback line underneath Jason Cooper down the hill still for the 6th time of asking, but Jason holds on for that one for now, but they are nose to tails. Alex Denning lets Shane Burke away up front.
And this is going to allow the likes of Fraser Smith and Keith Dempsey to close in as well. Cooper, he's got no fear. You'd think drivers that are competing for a championship potentially would be a bit wary about trying to get involved in scraps like that, but he's just trying to get to the front as quickly as he can, and with just over half the race still on his side, I reckon that he might still stand a good chance of doing that after he gets past Denning. If he can get by Denning, that should be said. He's got just a 1.3 second gap between him and Shane Burke, and there's been an issue there. And Rabbit's going to go up the inside of him into Westfield.
Oh, there's definitely going to be contact there. Jason Cooper holds on to it for Shane Rabbit up the inside of the run towards Sheen Curve. Can he get it stopped on the brakes? He's going to have a try. Shane Rabbit takes 3rd place away. Jason Cooper holds it around the outside of Sheen Curve. He's on the grass. Alex Denning's on the grass. Well, Keith Dempsey's up the inside to take 3rd place. Where has he come from? He comes with 3rd place. There's still contact between Jason Cooper and Shane Rabbit. Here comes Fraser Smith now on the back of Shane Rabbit as they run towards Clark Curve again. Jason Cooper's on the outside. Shane Rabbit's up the inside. Fraser Smith up the inside of Niall Murray. They're sliding all over the road as they run towards Paddock Bend. This is classic TCR racing right here. Shane Rabbit ahead of Fraser Smith now is going to go up the inside. Peter McCann's in this one as well. Jason Cooper round the outside of Paddock Bend, round the outside of Fraser Smith. Fraser Smith trying to hold on to this position. They're still side by side as they run towards Druids for the 7th time of asking, but it's now all gone the way of Keith Dempsey as he goes to the 3rd place. Shane Rabbit is 4th and Jason Cooper is now fighting for 5th place. He holds on to 5th place. That was mental racing right there.
Synchronised drifting through the final corner. All 4 of them are sideways in that scrap there, and it now means that Shane Rabbit is out on top in this little group. Keith Dempsey has just got by Alex Denning. Yes, for the lead. Oh, Denning, what's happened to?
Oh, excuse me, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did think what's going on there. Yeah, Dempsey is up into 2nd place. Denning is down to 3rd. That's something that Jason Cooper wasn't able to do, and now Dempsey, if he can just get his head down, he can try and chase after Shane Burke and make it 2 race victories in an evening here.
This is exactly what he needs. Jason Cooper involved in that battle with Shane Rabbit didn't go his way. But Alex now trying to follow Keith Dempsey as Shane Burke still leads this race by a margin of 2 seconds over Keith Dempsey. First time Shane Burke has led in the Digital-Motorsports TCR Cup. So he's out front of the Simtech Motorsport car. There he is in the Simtech livery, now getting chased by Keith Dempsey in 2nd place and Alex Denning holding on to that 3rd place for now, but Shane Rabbit is still there, Jason Cooper's still there, Fraser Smith still there for that one, Niall Murray, Peter McCann, Adrian Campbell and Peter Dempsey is inside the top 10 now. So he's having a great recovery drive from his earlier mishap, and you've just seen the background, Shane Rabbit and Jason Cooper together towards Paddock Bend. Now Jason Cooper's trying around the outside. He's done it earlier. He's found the space. Now he's going to come up towards Druids. Hangs it around the outside of Paddock Bend. Can he get it stopped on the brakes? Into Druids hairpin. Round the outside of Shane Rabbit. It's no easy task. Still side by side to run towards the next couple of corners. Now Jason got the inside line for this next corner, but Shane Rabbit and nose ahead as they come through they bang doors, and Jason Cooper started the move in Paddock Hill, finishes in the next corner. Brilliant move.
Fantastic, and Fraser Smith was able to benefit from that too. Here comes Niall Murray up the inside, and it looks like he's got it done, but watch out, we're now 3 wide on the run down the hill. This could get pretty interesting, and it could get messy quite quickly as we head down the hill.
McCann trying to go around the outside of both of them as they're running through towards Hawthorne Bend again. Peter McCann's having a think about it, trying to go around the outside, but Niall Murray holds on to that one. Adrian Campfield's in there, and Peter Dempsey up 21 places is now in this battle as well. There goes Adrian Campfield up the inside of Peter McCann. Peter Dempsey going to try and follow him through to make it 22 places gained, and he does make that one stick on Peter McCann. So can he get him up towards the top 5 even? It'd be a great result for Peter.
A great result considering the situation he was in on lap 1 after the contact there. He can afford to take his time a bit. Looks like the race changed for the race lead as Dempsey's up the inside into clearways. That looked pretty straightforward if anything, and now Dempsey leads after starting in 20th place. He's now in the lead.
Wow, from Keith Dempsey, just wow. From 20 on the grid to the lead after Jason Cooper's mishap. He's still in 4th place. Don't count him out just yet, but it may have just cost him a bit. Shane Burke still runs in 2nd, Alex Denning 3rd, Jason Cooper is now 4th, getting ahead of Fraser Smith. Shane Rabbit is embroiled in a battle with Niall Murray, and Adrian Campfield now getting his nose stuck in. There's contact up to into Druids once again, and Peter Dempsey's going to drive through it, I think, and hold on to that place. Niall Murray gets sent around at Druids, and now Peter Dempsey into 7th place, now chasing after Shane Rabbit. Can he get up the inside? Shane's wide on the exit. There's contact between them as they run up towards Surtees again. And now Peter McCann going to try and go around the outside of Peter Dempsey. Not going to make that one stick. And off the road goes Adrian Campfield after that mishap with Niall Murray at Druids. But here comes Peter Dempsey to try and take 6th place away from Shane Rabbit and make it 25 places gained in this race. Can he make it work around the outside of Hawthorne or get the classic cutback line through West? He's going to have a go around the outside line. Peter Dempsey, what a move!
Fantastic. That was probably up there for move of the meeting for me. Fantastic around the outside. There's not much grip out there because it's not often a part of the track that any of the drivers use. But Dempsey was able to power around the outside there. 25 places gained. What a drive this has been from him. And now he's got a 3-second gap to Fraser Smith in front of him with, 6 minutes to go. It's going to be tough, but if he's got the pace, and we know he has it, he might be able to just about snatch a top 5 in the closing stages. Rabbit's not showing any signs of letting Dempsey get away, though, and he's still latched onto the rear of that Audi TCR boot lid as we come over the start-finish straight again. We've got less than 6 minutes to go. Denning puts in a new personal best of the race. Driver still napping in the 1:31s. Rabbit up the inside. Just when Dempsey thought he could pull away, it's Rabbit back up the inside and he's able to get the move done. But surely Dempsey will get the cut back here into Druids.
Brilliant move, Shane Rabbit. There's contact again. You can see how sideways he got through there as he goes up the inside of Druids. Peter just not giving, and then shoves Shane Rabbit right out onto the grass right there as they run down the hill again. Peter McCann is just watching this, and round goes Peter Dempsey. It's all gone wrong. Shane Rabbit hits him in the rear again, just as he did in Druids. Peter Dempsey did it to Shane Rabbit, and I think Shane Rabbit gave it back to him there in that left-hander.
I think that might be a case of curse of the commentator there. Oh, Dempsey straight up the inside of Oliver Van Herk there, who's coming back on the outside. These lot are now squabbling over 12th and 13th. Here's Rabbit again. He's now got Niall Murray and Peter McCann squabbling together down the straight. But it looks like it's going to be Murray just about making the corner that's going to emerge ahead. Peter McCann in 8th. And 7th place Niall Murray trying to maintain that place now. But the fight for 2nd place is also shaping up to be pretty good. Shane Burke and Alex Denning just 0.2 of a second apart now.
Keith is not really driving away out in front. I would have thought the gap would have been bigger by now. He's 1.5 seconds clear of Shane Burke. Alex Denning 3rd, and Jason Cooper's trying to get himself on the back of this fight right here, but they have good pace, Alex Denning and Shane Burke, as we're going to lap 11 of 15 with nearly 16 minutes gone in this race. Have a look at the lap times here. Keith Dempsey 1:31.8 that time. He's flying out front as he goes into the 31s in this race, so he is opening the gap slowly as they run up towards Druids again. And Jason Cooper, if he can get a 2nd place out of this one, he'd be very happy, as Alex Denning goes very wide through Druids right there. Now he has his opportunity to try and maybe snatch 3rd place.
Yeah, a podium finish would still be very good for Cooper, considering the reverse grid is meant to be a disadvantage for these guys, but they've managed to fight their way through back to the front. And a podium finish, despite Keith Dempsey winning, would still be good for Cooper because he's not going to lose that many points to him. Here we are looking from the back of Denning, who, when we joined him, went very deep into Druids, then cut back onto the racing line and almost got tagged by Cooper. But here is the front of the very damaged Audi TCR, and up the inside goes Cooper. He might be able to get it done into Westfield. A close at the door, a slam at the door by Alex Denning, but he's going to be at a disadvantage now because he's parked it on the inside. Cooper back up the inside. No, that was another solid defensive display by Denning.
Denning is not making this easy for Jason Cooper as he needs 2nd place ideally to keep himself in the fight. Now here he comes again through Sterling up towards Clark again on the exit, but now Fraser Smith's right in this one too as they come towards the outside line. Fraser Smith getting his nose involved in this one, trying to go around the outside of Clark curve. It's going to be very tricky, but he might get a nice cutback line as they run through once again. Fraser Smith trying to get up the inside, but a good exit from Jason Cooper on Alex Denning for the final podium slot. It'd be a good result for either of them. Denning's trying to go for his first podium here in Digital Motorsports, trying to look up the inside, not quite going to be able to do it. And Denning a bit sideways there as they come towards Druids again. He's got a good run on the outside line this time. Tricky to make a run around the outside into Druids. Can he get it on the brakes? Round the outside. He's done it before. Can he get the traction on the exit? Denning's going to run him right out wide, as you can see. And onto the grass goes Jason Cooper. He's trying his hardest to hold on to this one. Manages to hold on to 4th place, but Alex Denning is putting up one hell of a defensive drive right here.
I think Denning was in its right to go and do that as the fight between McCann and Murray resumes, going out of Graham Hill Bend, and Cooper fortunately was able to get back on the circuit without losing too much time. If anything, Denning is backing Cooper into Fraser Smith, so that's working to his advantage a little bit in the closing stages, but time is running out for Cooper if he wants to get back on that podium.
I'm going to have 2 laps to go We'll come across the line next time. So Alex Denning trying his best to hold on for his first podium in the TCR Cup. And Jason Cooper trying to go for another one here. He's on the outside up towards Sheen Curve. He's going to go late on the brake track around the outside, not quite. Alex holds the inside line. He's at the inside for the Sterling. Now there's contact between them, and they managed to hold on to it. How is he held onto that car? Jason Cooper's off the road into the wall, hard at Sterling. It's all gone wrong for the second place man of the championship. It's a disaster, and he's out of the race.
Oh, what a shame there. You can save some things in a front-wheel drive Audi, but I think that slide was just too big for Cooper to hold on to. And what this has done is meant this is now a two-car scrap for the podium between Fraser Smith and Alex Denning as they come across the line to almost certainly start the final lap of race 2 here.
So can Alex Denning hold off against Fraser Smith, who's now trying to come up the inside. Alex is trying all his might to defend this one as Fraser Smith looks and he has his contact. He gets punted around by Fraser Smith at Druids. It's all gone wrong for Alex Denning, and it's gone wrong for Jason Cooper in the space of a lap. Shane Rabbit drives through for 4th place. Niall Murray comes through, and Alex just about hangs on to keep himself ahead of Peter McCann and Arius Diamantis. Peter Dempsey 9th and Tony Stack 10th. But it just in the space of a corner, it's all gone horribly wrong for Alex Denning.
Well, he was 1 minute away from a fantastic result, and it still can be a decent finish for Alex Denning. He's in 6th place. I don't think too much about the rejoin, but it could have been a lot worse for him, and he's managed to stay inside the top 10 as here is the scrap, the massive scrap for 2nd place in the closing stages. Sorry, for 5th place, I should say.
Niall Murray trying his best to hold on against Alex Denning. Look at the defence from Niall Murray. He's really trying to hold on for this one, as Alex Denning now has to defend from Peter McCann, who's trying for a top 5 finish here. He comes through the 6th place. Arius Diamantis trying to get up the inside too as they run towards the line. Keith Dempsey is clear out front. There's contact again between Arius Diamantis. They hold on to the slide. Peter McCann is through to 6th place. Mental scrap right here. Keith Dempsey comes across the line. He wins the feature race here in Brands Hatch. Once again, a double win for the championship leader. Shane Burke is going to get his first podium in Digital Motorsports with a brilliant drive to 2nd place, and Fraser Smith is going to come across the line in 3rd. But who's going to get through in this fight? It's going to be a photo finish between Alex Denning and Peter Dempsey. Is he going to be able to get to 7th place? Is there side by side to come across the line? Who's going to get that one? It may just have been Denning on the line. No, it was Dempsey. Denning just about missed out right there. So Denning manages to hold on against Peter Dempsey, and Fraser Smith finishes 3rd. Shane Rabbit is 4th, and this fight this is for 20th place, or 21st place should I say, between Diarmuid Toomey, who's trying to hold off Evan Walsh, and Brian McManus in the bike. These guys have not had a good race, but we've had 2 mental races this time. Another brilliant week of TCR action, and wow, what can I say? Just brilliant.
4 thousandths of a second between Denning and Dempsey there on the run to the line, and Denning was able to hold on to take 7th place at the end, despite losing that 6th place to Peter McCann when he was trying to get past Niall Murray for 5th. But Keith Dempsey, you don't often see 2 wins in an evening for anybody in this series, and Keith Dempsey is going to be one happy guy after this. He was able to fight through from 20th on the grid after winning the first race, and it is 2 wins in the book for him and some useful championship points as well as he returns back to the pit lane.
So hopefully we can grab a few of the drivers shortly for some interviews, but Keith Dempsey just brilliant, a double win, especially with the reverse grid in 20th place through celebrating the anniversary of his win in 2001 in Formula Renault here. He manages to go back-to-back in the TCR Cup, and it really is really going to extend his championship lead now ahead of Jason Cooper, who's a DNF from the feature, which is just awful for him. He was just embroiled in so many battles, he couldn't get himself out of it there. Keith Dempsey wins the feature race here in Brands Hatch. Shane Burke with a brilliant drive to 2nd place. Fraser Smith is 3rd. Shane Rabbit finishes a brilliant 4th place, I must say. Niall Murray finishes 5th. Peter McCann in 6th. Then Alex Denning and Peter Dempsey, as you mentioned, 4 thousandths of a second. Alex Denning holds on for 7th. Peter Dempsey 8th. Adrian Campfield finishes in 9th place. And Arius Diamantis finishes 10th. Jordan Kelly 11th. And then we have Tony Stack, Adam Dowling, Olivier Van Herk, James Holman, Keith Rabbit, Damien Harris, and Dave Collier. Now, 18 cars within 30 seconds isn't too bad. You can see there was a train of within about 2/10 of each other as they came across the line. And further down is Owen Murray, Diarmuid Toomey, Evan Walsh, Brian McManus, Max Turley, Rob O'Neill, and Colin Bays. Then Roland Haydeman, Brad O'Neill's, Pat Masterson in 28th, but still running. Then we are going to have, just outside there, Craig Breen finishes 29th and Dan Harper in 30th. Rob Barrable, Sergio Graben, Jason Cooper is a non-finisher, unfortunately, from this one, classified as 33rd. Jack Byrne, Wayne Douglas, Damien Connor Murphy on pole position, 37th in the classification, but a non-finish for him. So unfortunate for Connor, just got turned around in that race. Brian Egan, Barry Rabbit in 39th, Rob McGovern, Keane Carey, Rob Moore, Nathan Healy, Niall Quinn, also a double non-finish for Niall Quinn, and just a shame for him. And Chris Bays, classified as 45th in this race. A bit of a shame for a lot of drivers there who could have had a good result, but just got involved in that massive midfield battle.
Yeah, there were quite a few crashes at the start of race 2, just like in race 1, and a few of the drivers at the back maybe getting involved in some of the incidents too. But overall, a very decent race meeting, and I think we do have a few drivers waiting to come and speak to us. We do have our double race winner Keith Dempsey available in the interview room. We've got Jordan Kelly, who did very well in race 1. Fraser Smith, who we seem to be looking at loads during that one. He was right in the thick of the action. And we've also got the runner-up from race 2, Shane Burke, in the interview room. So we've got plenty of drivers to chat to in the post-race show that we've got for you now. I think Jack, we should start with getting Keith Dempsey in for a quick word.
Let's drag in. Sorry if we dragged you mid-conversation there, Keith, but welcome to the box. Race winner, double race winner in Brands Hatch. The crazy race. How did you find it from your end?
Yeah, race 2 was good. Delighted with that, to be honest. So just about staying out of trouble the first few laps, and then try catch the lads up the front.
Obviously Keith has got his microphone muted or something. So
Oh no, I'm with you now. Oh yeah, we can
There
hear
we
you
go.
now. Yeah.
So
we got you, Keith.
yeah, so I'm delighted with that. Good run through the field at the start of the race, and kind of got my head down to try catch the lads up the front, and had a bit of pace, so I could catch them pretty good.
Yes, so obviously there was a lot of crazy midfield action right there with plenty of door banging. How are you enjoying these TCR cars compared to the F3 Championship we ran just a few weeks ago?
I hate them. They don't really suit me at all. It's just about like trying to manage the front tires, and the understeer mid-run is I don't like it at all. But just have to kind of get the grips with it, and it's probably good to kind of make yourself learn a new technique as well at the same time.
Of course, just saw a photo pop on Facebook not too long ago. You won here in Formula One in 2001. So I have to ask you, how does the track actually compare on iRacing to the real thing? Because you've had experience of driving it in real life.
Oh, it's pretty much identical. Like, you know, even the little cracks in the tarmac and stuff are that was a couple of years ago since I've been here, but I still go there quite regularly, and it's you're not gonna get anything any closer than the real thing than this from in my opinion. Like, you know, so it's yeah, fair play to iRacing and the team of people that do the tracks. I think they're all very, very well scanned.
Do you have anything for him, Adam?
Oh well, Keith, when you find out you're going to be starting in 20th after the reverse grid, did it ever come across your imagination you'd get to the front in that one?
To be honest, no, because I expected all the carnage, and I kind of got involved in a few bits of it, but I got lucky, I think, to be honest, in the first few laps, and then I did have good pace, in fairness, I felt. So, and then I seen Jason, he was having a bit of trouble getting through some of the traffic as well. So it's look, it's not easy, but it's just about kind of taking your time to a certain extent, and probably being a bit older than some of the lads here kind of makes you be a bit more. I don't know, sometimes the maturity kind of helps you.
And the move for the win in race 1, it looked like you'd had quite decent pace on the exit 30s, but it was Paddock Hill where you were able to get the move done in the end. You reckon you catched, well, at least I thought you caught Jason Cooper by surprise there where you went up the inside.
I don't think you'd ever catch Jason by surprise. Like, he's the class of the field in these TCR cars. So to be honest, I was delighted to be able to kind of just hang on behind him in the first race, and then I felt like I had good pace, and I could see Jordan catching us up from behind. So I said I need to kind of try at least get ahead of him. I don't think I have the pace to pull away, but I need to try to get ahead. So just a few places I felt I was a bit quicker, and into paddock was one of them. So I said it was a bit of an old touring car move, a bit of a rub in the middle of it, but yeah, sure, look, I think it was clean between the both of us, so I enjoyed it.
Cool. Well, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
No, thanks to Niall and all the lads in Digital-Motorsports. They're doing a great job running the series. It's don't make any money for it, and they kind of put a lot of their own time and stuff into it, so fair play to the lads. And it's good to see a lot of Irish and English and probably lots of European and Peter and America, obviously. So we've got a good international field, and it's good racing. I enjoy it.
Thanks a million for joining us, Keith.
Thanks,
we'll
lads.
let you go now, and we'll see you next week.
Good luck.
And right, so that was our double race winner saying that the car doesn't suit him at all. So that was an interesting one. Now, if we possibly can, we are going to just drag. We have now got our second place man in the feature race, Shane Burke, in the box. So Shane, did you ever expect to get on the podium this week? It was a fantastic drive to second place. Well done.
Thanks. No, not really, to be honest. I had really very little testing. I'm not great in TCR at all, but as it was mostly luck. Race 1 was good, got a good start. That's what was key there. Race 2, it's interesting at some stages. But first of all, I wanted to apologise to Dan Harper. I completely couldn't get off his rear bumper and nudged him off the track, ruining his race. So by right, I'll get a penalty for next race. But boys are just taking lumps out of each other. I placed my car in the right places at times, and yeah, and then unfortunately with Conor Murphy as well, I was committed to going up the inside, and I don't know if he realised if I was still going for it, and he went for the apex. I couldn't do anything. But other than that, and no, I was not expecting a podium at all in this championship. So yeah, that was quite surprising.
So obviously you've experience in karting as well. So how does your karting experience come across in iRacing? Because I know the two well, obviously karting is real life, obviously, but how does it compare to the racing line, to the elevation changes? Does that match up with real life here?
I suppose it's kind of difficult in karting. It's possibly more different, especially if you're comparing it to front-wheel drive cars. I've learned that you're taking different lines, so for me this is a different world. But racing is racing. You learn your key things like overtaking. But then again, I'm finding that the real-life drivers they struggle to race each other cleanly, and the more time you spend on a sim in just public lobbies or whatever it is, you get used to how racing here it's just very different. Like, I see a lot of collisions here, and I don't know if it's because the way they have their mirror set up, or they maybe don't have crew chief on, which is a big thing for me. It tells me if someone's coming up the inside or where they are. So to be honest, it's a different world in my opinion, but you do learn obviously from sim racing or karting. They're similar in some ways.
That you have Adam.
Hi Shane. Did you ever have during the race the spotter saying still inside for quite a long time? Because it looked like around this circuit today there was plenty of side-by-side action for the best part of half a lap around it.
At times possibly. I didn't fight anyone too hard. I let Keith go once he caught me. There was no point of fighting him. He was at one stage a second a lap quicker, maybe more. I just badly struggled. Keith's just unbelievable driver. So I didn't fight him. There was a time down the bottom of the straight where there was a big mess up, and it was 3 wide or something at one stage, me on the inside. But no, the spotter wasn't that busy today. He had an easy day.
How would you sum up your first 2 meetings so far, Donington Park and now this one today?
Donington was a disaster, really. I just badly struggled because I came from the VLN. I done the official VLN, and that was quite well. And then I came to Donington, and it was just no pace, and there was pile-ups and shunting, and I got lucky. I came from 40th or something and got 2 top 20s, I think, or 21st in race 1. But I'm learning. Doing the VLN in a TCR, it's a long lap, so I'm learning a lot in the one lap, and I'm trying to take that to here. And now it's just I still need to find half a second until I'm happy. I don't think I can match Niall Quinn or Keith Dempsey, but a little bit of time to find.
Great. Well, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
I'd like to thank Digital-Motorsports for supporting Simtech Motorsport, and thanks to them for holding a great event. Thanks to TeamSpeak for supporting Simtech, and my teammates for testing with me and cheering me on. So yeah, that's it. And thanks to the commentators. Great job as always.
No problem.
Thanks, Keith. Hopefully, not Keith, Shane.
Okay.
Hopefully you'll be as quick as Keith next week. So we'll see you next week, Shane. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Now we will hopefully grab our third place man. Third place driver Fraser Smith in the box with us. Fraser, crazy Brands Hatch race right there. Finally gets to the podium with a last-ditch effort. How did you find that race overall?
It was good. I didn't really expect to finish that high up from where I started, but I think I just managed to sort of stay out of trouble in general today. Avoided a few of the crashes at the start, which put me further forward. But, I mean, the little incident at the end, I think maybe moved over a bit, but it's not for me to decide. So, yeah, other than that, it was good. I had good fun in the first race. So, good night for me.
So, how would you sum up your day here in Brands Hatch compared to Donington? A decent run out in Donington, but obviously today must have been a bit better.
Yeah, at Donington I got caught up in a few little incidents in race 2, which meant I finished a lot lower than I would have wanted to. But I mean, in race 1 here, I was with Dan Harper, and we sort of just went through the field together. Really, I know he's probably was like similar pace to me, so I didn't bother really attacking him. Just worked with him, and we both moved forward quite well, and then it worked out quite well for me in race 2 as well.
Adam, I'll let you have him.
Fraser, you seem to be in all of the battles that we were showing towards the front in race 1 and race 2. How hard is it to keep your concentration for those 2 20-minute races with all of that going on around you?
It is pretty difficult, especially, I mean, at this track there's quite a lot of not necessarily blind corners, but a lot of it you really want to be able to be seeing where you're going. And if you're right behind somebody, you're kind of trusting them to go where you're planning to go, really, because otherwise if they go wide you tend to follow them, so that can be a bit difficult. But I was just trying to, I mean, if people were really battling in front of me, I was just trying to give them the space and hope that I could pick up the pieces, really.
It's one of those corners like Sterling's the left-hander after Shinka. We did see a few cars running wide there, and then the next car around the corner piling into the back of them on some occasions.
Yeah, I did have one moment there where, I mean, you've got to be quite balanced on the brakes in these, especially on this setup. And I had a big slide. I managed to sort of save it, but I did lose probably 3 positions in that second race. I was quite lucky to not spin, really. I also had a bit of a moment at Paddock Hill. I was following Jason Cooper, and he was trying to overtake the guy in front of us. I quickly went out to the left, and I nearly clipped the grass then, which would have been race over probably. Yeah, I mean, you've got a bit of an element of trust in everyone in front of you, really, and just try and avoid incidents.
Great. Before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
Yeah, thanks to yourselves for all the work behind the scenes, and thanks to everyone at Full Send Racing.
Brilliant, thanks a million, Fraser. Hopefully we'll see you next week, and best of luck for next week as well when we see you out.
Cheers, take care.
And finally, we will grab our third place man from the heat race. He was waiting for in the interview box since race 1, but we're going to drag him in now. Jordan Kelly, third place in the first heat race. I didn't quite go to plan in race 2, but a decent result overall. Crazy racing. How did it seem from your end?
It was good. There was some mayhem down the back in race 2, but yeah, it was fun going through it.
So race 1, you were following the top 2, Keith and Jason. Did you have to hold yourself back from making any stupid moves?
I was just trying to manage my tyres, but just trying to let them fight it out. But just didn't. I was just waiting on them to have a wee moment, but it just didn't happen.
Oh, of course, you were racing the F3 Championship not too long ago, and now in the TCRs. What do you think is well, apart from the damage model, what is the biggest difference you found in the racing between the TCR and the F3 at the moment?
Mostly braking. You don't have to brake so much in the Formula 3s, I find, but on the TCRs you can brake as hard as you want.
Yeah, so Adam, have you got anything for our third place heat race, man?
How difficult was it to get these cars off the line, especially a track like Brands where you're either heading downhill or uphill and on some parts of the grid? It looked like some of you out there struggled to get the cars off the line in these front-wheel drive cars.
It's just, there's a launch control on it. You have to set it by putting on the brake and then locking onto gear and then revving up to about 20% throttle. But then when you lift off, just slam the brake off and then slowly feed in the throttle, and you'll get it off the line. But you just have to watch from wheel spin. If you get anything, you're dead.
You haven't had to use the handbrake at all yet, have you?
Not yet. I might have a go soon.
Cool. Well, how have you found the season so far, Donington and now this at Brands Hatch? How do you rate your start to the season?
It's pretty good. Race 2s haven't been so nice to me so far, but it's going alright. It's hard to keep up with the fast boys.
Well, hopefully the reverse grid can work in your favour. I think in the race 2s to come. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But it's going good.
Oh, before we let you go, Jordan, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
All the people racing. I race with in real life with Formula V Ireland. Big shit.
Thanks a million, Jordan. Best of luck for next week, and hopefully the reverse grid will work in your favour next time.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be chatting to you again.
Stuff. See you later.
Okay, bye.
Placeman in the heat race, Jordan Kelly sounds exhausted, I must say, after all of that action. Yeah, especially after 40, trying to fight your way between Keith Dempsey and Jason Cooper. Just insane racing. But I really don't know how this championship is going to end, even though Keith has taken a massive chunk out of it. It can just show you even the smallest mistake from Jason Cooper, in the smallest incident, will just send you down the field.
It is, and of course this season isn't very long at all. This is race meeting number 2 of 5. By the time we get to the 22nd of April, to the 29th of April, we will be on the verge of crowning a champion. So there aren't going to be too many more races, just 2 races of race meeting before we get to the final round to decide a champion. So every position is crucial in this championship, and we'll see what kind of state the championship is when we head to the next race meeting this time next week.
So we did neglect to mention there is a second championship also in the background, which is the Clean Racer Championship. Now, obviously, after the action today, it's going to be all mixed up, but we'll obviously keep you updated with all that. So now the TCR Cup is a full English track round, so we know that we're heading to Silverstone, we know we're going to Oulton Park, and we know we're going Snetterton as well. But the key is the drivers do not know the order of this calendar. I think the whole message was to avoid too much practice or sweat, as it's called. So they do not know the track until the Monday next. So they will not know we won't know where we're going until 6 o'clock on Monday, when the first hosted session goes up for the practice, which is great. So we're either heading to Snetterton or Oulton Park or Silverstone next week. We've obviously already been to Donington. Now we've just finished Brands Hatch, but yeah, they're all very different circuits. Silverstone as well. Silverstone is going to be, I think, a great one for Slipstream, Adam, because it's just such an open track.
Well, yeah, if we're going to I don't know what configuration we could be going to. If we're going to the national circuit, that's going to be a Slipstream fest. But also, if we are on the Grand Prix circuit, then it's going to be more of the same too. The hanger straight into Stowe, and then you've even got the front straight and the run into Woodcote. That would be an absolutely class race meeting if we've got that next week. So looking forward to that. Oulton Park as well, traditional British touring car venue. Have got to get a bit inventive in terms of getting the moves done. Maybe a move into the island hairpin or into Lodge, the final corner. And then if we're at Snetterton on the 300 layout, that's a pretty tricky one to get right. So with not much practice, they'll be having to work flat out through the little time they have to make sure they have got all their apexes nailed for if we go there next week. So 3 fantastic racetracks still to come, and we're looking forward to going to all of them.
Snetterton, I think we could compare it to Brands Hatch with less elevation changes. It's a super narrow circuit, you know. But again, we have a massive long back straight into the back of the circuit, into the bomb hole and all that around that area. So again, that's going to be an interesting one to go to. And the top of the hairpin, it is quite a similar layout if you think about it to Brands Hatch. You've got the long straight, then the curve round to the right hand side, then the hairpin at the top of the hill with the tree. So it's it's going to be an interesting one with these TCR cars. See who's going to come out on top in the end. But Keith Dempsey, I mean, this guy, he was incredibly fast in F3. According to him, we just heard him in the interview. These cars, he hates them, but he's now leading the championship. He just seems to be unbeatable in any car that you give him.
Really does. And you mentioned the victory here at Brands Hatch in 2001, and shows he's lost none of that. And also good to see that iRacing has nailed every nook and cranny of this circuit. Obviously, racing in real life, he knows where all the bumps are. And it looks like they've come across here into the TCR Cup, and he's managed to use that experience pretty well to come away from here, even though he doesn't like the Audi too much, with 2 wins on the board. So a meeting to remember for him, and you'll be hoping this is a sign that things to come as he gets to know the Audi a bit more in the remaining 3 race meetings.
Yeah, and I think we just he was a bit on. We got very unlucky in that race. In race 2, was trying to hold on for his podium, but Alex Denning had a great showing this week as well with his he very robustly tried to defend, but it just didn't quite go his way. But it shows you the reverse grid really does help in getting drivers that maybe wouldn't normally be up near the front of the grid, getting them up and getting them involved in these top 3 battles, especially in cars which are identical.
It's a good number because it doesn't mean that you're automatically a certain for a top 5 or a top 10. You've still got to put the work in to make sure you get it. And for Alex Denning, for 19 of the 20 minutes, it looked like he had earned enough to get a podium. Even with the battles with Jason Cooper and the like, it was just that unfortunate coming together down at Druids on the final lap that meant that he got nerfed down the order a little bit. He still managed to finish in the top 10, and 7th place is still a solid result for him, considering the incidents he was involved with in late on. And hopefully this is something for him to build on when we get to the next few race meetings, where he could end up in a similar position again to benefit from the reverse grid.
And another driver as well who showed that finishing, even if you have a bad race 1, you can get yourself back into that top 10, was Peter Dempsey. I mean, he came from, I think it was close to 35th or 36th on the grid all the way up to 7th, which was a fantastic showing from him. And we know he's got pace, he just got a bit unfortunate. And again, the finish between himself and, we just mentioned Alex Denning, 0.004 of a second across the line. But it's showing that starting further down the grid is not a death sentence.
And it could have been even more places, couldn't it, for Peter Dempsey in race 2. There was a moment where he got shuffled back down a few positions and he had to wrestle them back, but fantastic recovery drive from him. We saw him and some others off from the front. Niall Quinn, who's not had the best race meeting at all really, after qualifying at least. Quinn and Dempsey were starting up at the front in race 1. Both were off in the gravel at Druids in race 1, and they were able to, at least Peter Dempsey was anyway, able to get back up the field. Then in race 2, move up the field even more and come away with, I'd say, damage limitation with a top 10 finish, 23 places gained. He is the joint biggest mover in race 2 alongside Keith Rabbit, who also gained 23 places. So even at tracks like Brands Hatch that aren't the widest, this bodes well for if we are to go to the likes of Alton Park or Snetterton next week, which are similar in that regard, that we are going to see plenty of overtakes going on. They're going to have to be, because points are on the line and they'll be eager to get places gained from where they're starting on the grid.
Just a final note, I mean, you mentioned Keith Rabbit. We just have a quick word about Shane Rabbit. He had a fantastic outing this week. He didn't have a great one last week, but I mean, Shane was properly getting his elbows out in this one, got a great 4th place out of this one. And again, he's a real life racer, so you can kind of see that the racing instinct does not go away in a simulator. Shane was properly going for it, had some great racing in it.
I think he was one of the drivers that we saw pulling off some of the mighty moves at Hawthorn, if not around the outside that we saw, I think, one of the Dempseys do. But the cut back and then the run up the inside into Westfield, if you can get a move done there, you are really doing something right. And yeah, you're right, Shane Rabbit, a 4th place here today, backing that up with a solid result in race 1. I think he'll be pretty pleased with the points so that he's got coming away from here.
I think we can say that move of the race was certainly Peter Dempsey around the outside of Hawthorn. It's just not a place that you can overtake, but he made it work, because it's usually the cutback through Westfield, but he went all the way around the outside, which was pretty amazing. But that is going to be all from us for this week in Apex Racing TV. Of course, big thanks to Samuel, who's been working hard on the cameras in the background. Thanks to Adam for joining me as well. And I hope you all enjoyed at home with iRacing Esports Network. And we will just see you at the same time next week. We don't know where we'll be yet. We'll find out on Monday. It's either going to be Snedgerton, Fulton Park, or Silverstone. And the championship battle continues. But Keith Dempsey is now clear out in front of this 5-round championship. It's been great to have you with us this evening, and we hope that we'll see you at the same time next week on the iRacing Esports Network, brought to you by Apex Racing TV. Thank you all. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Good night.